When it comes to protecting your personal privacy, trust no one, not even yourself. Like I was saying in my last video, the IoT devices throughout your home, whether smart TV or otherwise, they're all tracking you, and they're all so cheap for the express purpose of selling your data to help subsidize that price. And whether you live in the US, UK, anywhere in between, it doesn't matter. All that matters is your privacy, your data is for sale, and there's not really much you can do about it. So I just figured, quick video, end of the year, let's go over a few different ways in which they could get to you, even if you're offline. How I've personally come to, maybe leverage some of these systems in the past growing up, and overall what you may be able to do about it, which is not much to be clear, but something's better than nothing. Let's get into it. What would Jesus do? Probably not spy on you, but we live in the world we live in, whatever. All I'll say is that, have you ever seen the horrors of what the average median man gets today for ads? It's insanity. Like when I moved downtown Toronto, early 2020s, this is when I discovered the sheer horror awaiting our generation. Because at the same time, I realized all these different ad platforms, they allow you to turn off personalized ads. I always knew this to be the case, but I never tried it. The thing is, when you turn it off though, they're not turning off everything they could do to personalize it for you. There's many different ways they can still get to you, just in a more anonymized, generic way. They get less money by far for advertising to you, so they don't want you to do it, but they still get better than just a pure scattershot kind of type ad network. One way they do it is through being able to look at your age, gender, just different, very vague general buckets that they can lump you into. Another way though, the postal code. The postal code will do a lot for you because, let's be real here, most people live near other people that are like them. And so even if you've never touched a computer in your life, never been online, doesn't matter. If you live near anyone who lives a similar life to you, broadly speaking, you're got to. You will see personalized ads tailored to you, whether you like it or not. The postal code, they're able to pin down exactly what the average demographic of your area is, what they're already looking for, because they have the data of the 99% of people that are not turning off this shit ahead of time. And so you're basically screwed just like them, even if you did everything to protect yourself from such. But, beyond ad blockers and all those other things, what else can you do? Even crazy enough, okay, I don't know if you can see this. Do you see me now? You see this light down here? It's an automatic AI light. It tracks me. I got an automatic tracking crew, right? And it's shaking its head at me as I film this video. It clearly must have sensors in it that are like, oh, no, don't talk about our data collection, but data collection is what they do, not that thing. But other things definitely do. The reason I bring up the whole turning off personalized ads is because when you do that, you are left with the sheer horror of what the average modern man is advertised to. In my early 20s, I'm getting ads for SARMs, which I don't know if you know what SARMs are, but it's like a steroid, but like usually invented in Russia. All of them cause cancer to the nth degree, like to the point where if you want to study cancer, giving a rat a SARM is like pretty surefire way to do it. It's crazy. And you see, I know those risks. And back in my day, you had to be at least somewhat competent to go and find drugs online. You could still buy with your credit card, sure, but the way to get to them was kind of hard to get to, You had to know your way around the streets, so to speak, to be able to find it. No longer. Instagram, you turn off those personalized ads. I'm getting ads for drugs that are gray market. Drugs are straight up illegal. And you can just buy with your credit card, which if you're the average high school boy or something, I'm sure they're probably getting similar ads. In fact, I know for the SARM one, I've seen people who are younger who do get those ads. And again, like if you don't happen to go deep into it, if you just want it to be the easy answer, most people do not want to know if it's bad or not. They want to just get that quick thing and get it done with, right? And like it's not even just like the direct substances, it's also a lot more things too. Like you can see a lot of the struggles of modern man through what the ads are advertising. Like on one end, you got testosterone, be more of a man. On the other end, you got scams, crypto scams, course scams, all these other different types of things. It's basically shooting fish in a barrel. Truly, I'm going to leave it there, but just you can imagine exactly what the horrors one could seeing what the median person in your geography is looking for. Because that's what you get when you turn off personalized ads. It's not depersonalized. It's just boiled down to whatever the median man in your area is getting. And it's horrific. All I'll say is, look, I'm like late 20s. Guys, we're not doing well if this is what the median person gets. I've been looking at this shit for half a decade at this point, and it's only gotten worse with time, way worse with time, so much to the point where there's no normal ads anymore. I don't even get normal mobile ads anymore. It's just pure unending horrors beyond our comprehension, and it's our own doing. But, that's just the personalized ads, right? Based upon all this information, I do gotta say I was a bit of an abuser myself, right? Like Facebook specifically. Back in high school, everyone was on Facebook. You got all these Facebook groups for class classes, group projects, all this shit. It was great. Honestly, I miss those days. That being said, though, Facebook ads, by the time I was looking, they patched the way for you to directly say, I want to target this exact individual. They were like, okay, that's creepy. It was one step removed, though, was still legal. And so I could go say, okay, I have a paranoid friend, very libertarian kind of type guy, if you can imagine. And he's very anti-government, anti all these different, surveillance state type shit. And so I thought it would be hilarious to go take out a Facebook ad where you can't target individuals, but individually, based upon demographic data, especially in a small town, you can narrow it down to the point where you can exactly target one guy. And so I remember I went on and it had Facebook ads where it's like, fuck, what's his fake name gonna be? Larry Murphy, if you're reading this, I'm in your walls and I'm stealing your information or some other shit. I'm censoring what it actually was. It was quite offensive at the time, but it was hilarious is what I'm saying. And the idea is hilarious. And the payoff, I didn't get to see. He never admitted it, the bastard. I spent $20 on that. I'm still waiting for you to fucking acknowledge that. Anyway, the point is though, you can really get away. I think to this day even, I don't think they've been able to restrict it enough, because to restrict the ability for you to prank target one guy in your friend list, so to speak, is to restrict the ability for people to do target marketing broadly to any effective degree. And so I think they're not able to prevent that, or at least they don't want to prevent it. And so I think it's still possible. I don't know, I'll fact check myself in post. But beyond the different Facebook ads, speaking of privacy in general and the horror of Facebook, even if you don't have a Facebook account, they have an account for you already. The reason why is because they set up fake dummy profiles, because they can infer that you exist. People post pictures online of you, even if you're not online, they post pics of you online. And over time, it can recognize this is a face of a guy. He has these friends clearly through these photos. And so when you do one day go make a Facebook account, the benevolent reason for them doing this is you already have all the info you need, so we can match you exactly with who you need to be with immediately. Streamline the experience. That, again, is the benevolent reason for why they claim to be doing so. The malevolent one I'll leave up to you, but you can infer, is all I'll say. And speaking of that, the reason that really prompted me to make this video today is not just the comments from last video talking about the IoT device issues. It's also because the US just enabled, was it the Flock network or some shit this week, where every single Ring camera and other different camera just facing the street. First off, fuck you people who are getting those. You are what's wrong with the world, because do you want to know what they're doing with them? This week, they all got opted into this police network where they're using it to track your goddamn license plates, your where you go, who you see, all of your activity. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. Even if you've never touched a piece of internet in your life, you are now on there nonetheless, and there is no way to hide. And they're already using it to go and take ICE and deport people and shit. I'll leave it there, but it's literally literal surveillance state. I don't know how else to say it, and it's weird that no one seemed to be talking about this. It's almost as if it's been swept under the rug, for Christ's sakes. And I don't know why. It's just too much shit to be saying these days. Too many different things happening all at once. It's hard to keep track. Let's be real here. The Rampocalypse is just one upon many. But regardless, though, we're all getting tracked. And so, what do you do about it? Well, I'll get to what to do at the end. But in general, I'd say swim with the current, not against. But, on the topic of the whole internet camera Flock network tracking everything you do, there's been a big issue with internet cameras online for decades now, just being open to the public. Well, I guess 2 decades maybe, just because before then you couldn't have the bitrate able to afford a video stream, so to speak. But that being said though, these days it's kind of common knowledge that any sort of camera that's online attached to online is for the most part hackable pretty easily. If not just straight up open, welcoming all observers to come on through at any time. And there's websites like the Instacam.org, websites like Instacam.org that basically go and keep a list of all the different unprotected webcams that are out there, whether it's a literal webcam, God forbid, in your bedroom or some shit, or whether it's something more benign, just a camera watching a trail for whatever government recreation, parks and recreation thing, right? And it just keeps a track of a list of millions upon millions of these cameras that are everywhere throughout life, and at any moment you could tune into any one of them in this long list and just observe, and it's truly interesting. You see a lot of slice of life type things going on. But again, alternatively, if they're in your home, you really just shouldn't have cameras in your home. I don't know why everyone's buying Rings. That's one thing to be scared of. Go into an Airbnb, you're always terrified. You go into the pisser and you're getting spied on by the landlord. The secret thing is the camera will be in the bedroom, hoping that it's a couple, because then they'll post that shit online. God fucking forbid. Thank Christ we live in the age of AI. Okay, that's another thing too. Thank Christ we live in an era now where for the first time you could reasonably be shown photos or video of you doing things that you would not want to be caught on camera doing and be like, Nah, that ain't me. And unlike that old video, that old bid, it actually could be believably not you now. The era of deepfakes has low-key marked the end of the era of the nude leak. Because at least for the average Joe, no one's getting out the forensic team online to go and analyze whether it's AI or you for real, right? No one's gonna check that deepfake. So for the average Joe, for their nudes to leak online, you're fine. Just deny and be like, no, it's a deepfake. There's clearly someone who's a bit too into me or some shit. I've given this advice actually to someone once and it worked out for them. And the reason why is because you can kind of frame it in a way where, oh, why are you looking at that? If they start to ask questions and then people are like, wow, no, they back away immediately. Like we're kind of in the post nude leak era at this point. And so that doesn't mean go take nudes, but just at least there's some benefits to this privacy 9/11 we've all been living with, if nothing else. You know, the one true thing I think that is really affecting everyone is the amount of astroturfing. You saw it on Twitter, right? Whenever all the MAGA accounts got revealed to be guys from India, all the really everything, it turned out to all be India versus Pakistan this entire time. Who knew? That was the true root conflict on Twitter. But whatever. The reason that this matters is because astroturfing is the biggest thing impacting your life. You always can tell almost. There's a weird sixth sense you can feel from comments or different sentiments expressed online that have artificial popularity almost, it seems. Then again though, maybe this paranoia is feeding you back into your beliefs. I don't know. I don't really know how else to take the world this way. We're all facing this weirdness today, but this has gone back long before. In high school, back like 20, let's say, I was not on Twitter. I briefly made a Twitter. I made one negative comment about how the school was running a musical. I'm like, why don't they do plays? And then the whole arts department and any arts kid in our high school shat on me. I'm like, okay, you know what? The world does not need to hear my opinions that badly, okay? I got rid of my Twitter. And so I was without Twitter, but other people were really into Twitter. And so they would always dick measure with their whole follower thing in high school. And so one day I just thought it would be funny. I went online, looked up a company, $5, and it could buy you a few thousand followers. And crazily enough, when I did this prank on this one guy who was really big into his Twitter follower amounts and how big it was, they over-delivered by like an order of magnitude. And so I remember I was in math class in the morning with them, sitting there like, bro, I'm getting lit up right now. Like, what? Oh my God, look how many followers I'm getting. He was ecstatic for a brief moment. He was ecstatic. And then it just kept happening. And he started looking at the type of person to be following him. He's like, oh, they're all fake. And then it just kept going and going. And he had to silence. It actually crashed his phone how many people were following him suddenly. And I paid $5 for this. It was advertised as $5 for like a few thousand followers. He got like 30,000 before it stopped. And it stayed there for a few weeks. And people were heckling him like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy would buy followers. How embarrassing, right? But then the thing is, I kept watching who was making fun of him, right? I didn't have a Twitter account. Doesn't mean I wasn't looking at Twitter. And so I'd see who was making fun of him, and then I'd buy followers for them, and then buy followers for the people making fun of them. I was just in the shadows. I was like the fucking notebook guy, Japanese manga. Kira? Death Note, yeah. I was like Kira from Death Note, for fuck's sakes. I think no one put it together. It was me because I gave no indication as such. I remember I confessed to the original guy I did this to years later, and he was like, that was you? He was blown away. Best prank. Oh my God, so cheap too. Like I spent a collective $30 on this shit, and it was just so funny to watch. Oh my God, I could not recommend it enough. But that's what I'm saying though. If this was what was accessible to kids back then, yeah, it's a tiny bit harder today, but even then, it still is doable. Okay. And I'd like to confess in this moment that every single one of you are bots, except for the one who's real watching this. The rest of it's all astroturfed. No one's real here. Okay. End segment or something. And so what are we gonna do about all this shit, okay? I know this is just, honestly, truly, it is inescapable. Do not try to flee the system. The system is to subsume you. There is no getting out of this alive, okay? There's only one way to win, and that's to swim harder with the current, outrace the current. The way to be is to poison your data. Let's be real here. I'm shooting myself in the balls when it comes to this sponsorship, because let's be real here. Incogni's not gonna wanna come to me after I say this today, but if I'm being truly honest here, the whole, oh, let's hit up all the data brokers and get your information off the internet, that shit don't work because it's infinite. There's an infinite amount of data brokers. They are not able to even be aware of, let alone reach all of them. There is just a select few that do have it. God forbid as well if it leaks online. Like the thing is, it's just always going to be available. There's no way to remove or scrub your data from the internet. Don't even try is what I'm saying. Do the opposite. Instead of trying to deal with all this misinformation shit, the true answer is disinformation, okay? Disinformation. You gotta go and ruin your data. You gotta poison it. You gotta go and first off, turn off personal personalized ads, yes, but then constantly confuse them. Never let them know who you are. You gotta click on random ads, and again, this is gonna be torturous because it is torturous. Life is torturous, okay? Give your email, sign up for newsletters. That's a purchase indicator, okay? That means that you actually are serious about an ad. You gotta give them a little bit, okay? Because then they'll be like, there you go. He's interested in, it's like, this guy needs therapy for his fear of heights. Also, he's into skydiving. Also, just constant confusing indicators. You've got to be into everything and nothing. Like whenever you see a new outside of whatever normally you're being served sort of ad, you got to click on it. And again, do some bullshit like give them an email or something and confirm it, because you must make it think it's authentic. But you must do this for everything at all possible. Like, did you know when you open up your Google account, there is a way where you can see what Google thinks you're interested in, right? It will give you every single different way that it tells advertisers what to advertise you to. It's crazy. When you look at it too, you'll notice there's a few things that are wrong about you, but they don't know that, right? What I'm saying is, rather than deleting that to get more accurate ads, do the opposite. Poison your data. Get your whole list to be mostly that. Yes, what you might actually be open to be advertised to is within there somehow in the stack of needles that this haystack will become. But the point is, you don't want to be spending all of your waking money online just like you spend all your waking hours there. What you want to do is minimize that and minimize the way they can track you and know you and think that they can get you. And that is the true solution, okay? Poison your data. Do not let them know you. Make them keep guessing, because that's the only way to win in this world these days. That's all I gotta say. Short shit post video. It's Christmas. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.